On the plain of Leuctra in 371 BC, two great powers of Greece faced off Sparta and Thebes. The Spartans, legendary for their discipline and invincibility, stood in their iconic phalanx, confident as ever. For centuries, no one had broken their line in open battle. Opposite them, the Thebans, led by the visionary Epaminondas, prepared for a desperate gamble. Thebes was outnumbered and facing a legend, but Epaminondas had a plan that defied tradition. He knew that to fight Sparta on their terms was suicide. Instead, he would try something radical, something that could change the fate of Greece. The world watched, breath held as these armies prepared to clash. This was more than a battle. It was a test of tradition versus innovation. The Spartan king, Cleombrotus, trusted in his army's reputation and the unbroken record of the phalanx. For Sparta, this was another day, another victory, or so they thought. The Thebans, however, were ready to risk everything. Epaminondas's plan was so bold it bordered on madness. He would gamble the future of Thebes on a single decisive maneuver. This was not just a fight for land, but for the soul of Greece. The moment would prove that even the most dominant powers can fall to new ideas. The unbreakable spear of Sparta was about to be tested. The air was thick with tension as the armies took their positions. The fate of Greece hung in the balance. The stage was set for a revolution in warfare. The unstoppable force of innovation was about to meet the unbreakable spear. To grasp the shock of Leuctra, you must understand Sparta. Sparta was a society built for war, its citizens trained from childhood to be perfect soldiers. The Spartan phalanx, a wall of shields and spears, was the ultimate expression of this system. Every man trusted the one beside him. Their discipline was unmatched. For generations, this made Sparta the dominant land power in Greece. Their reputation alone could make enemies surrender. But this success bred arrogance and rigidity. The Spartans clung to tradition, placing their best troops on the right wing out of ritual, not strategy. Their tactics hadn't changed in generations. They never needed to. Art, philosophy, and commerce were all secondary to war. This unwavering belief in their own superiority blinded them to change. The Spartan way had always worked, until now. Their conservatism became a weakness. They expected every enemy to fight by the same rules. But at Leuctra, that expectation would be shattered, While Sparta rested on its laurels, Thebes was rising. Recently freed from Spartan control, Thebes was led by visionaries like Epaminondas and Pelopidas. At the heart of their army was the sacred band, 300 elite soldiers, paired lovers, fighting for each other and their city. This unique bond gave them unmatched morale and cohesion. The sacred band became a symbol of Theban strength and defiance. Epaminondas saw their potential, but knew it wasn't enough to defeat Sparta alone. He needed a plan that would turn Thebes' strengths into a decisive advantage. He studied the battlefield like a chessboard, searching for opportunity in the Spartans' predictability. Thebes was ready to challenge the old order. The time for boldness had come. The shadows of Athens and Sparta were about to be dispelled. Greek battles were usually head-on clashes of evenly matched phalanxes. Epaminondas broke this mold with a revolutionary tactic, the oblique order. He stacked his left wing 50 men deep, creating a human battering ram. At its tip, the sacred band would strike the Spartan right, where their king and best troops stood. The rest of the Theban line was thinned and advanced slowly, refusing battle with the Spartan center and left. All Theban strength focused on one point, a gamble that could win or lose everything in moments. This tactic abandoned uniformity, concentrating overwhelming force at a decisive spot. By striking the Spartan elite directly, Epaminondas aimed to break their will and leadership. It was a bold, calculated move, unlike anything seen before. The fate of the battle would hinge on this single, audacious plan. The rules of Greek warfare were about to be rewritten. As the armies advanced, the Theban formation unsettled the Spartans. The Theban left, 50 ranks deep, crashed into the Spartan right, 12 ranks deep, led by the sacred band. The impact was devastating. The Spartans were overwhelmed by sheer force. The Thebans weren't shoving, they were punching a hole through the Spartan line. Around King Cleombrotus the fighting was savage. The Theban objective, kill the king and shatter Spartan morale. Cleombrotus fell, and with him the Spartan right collapsed. The rest of the Spartan army, seeing their elite defeated, lost heart and retreated. The Theban center and right had barely engaged. The battle was decided in minutes. The invincible Spartans were routed. Epaminondas's gamble had paid off spectacularly. The myth of Spartan invincibility was broken. The aftermath of Leuctra stunned Greece. Over 400 elite Spartans, including their king, lay dead, a loss Sparta could not replace. The psychological blow was even greater. For centuries, Sparta's aura of invincibility had kept its empire together. Now, that myth was shattered. States under Spartan rule saw their chance to break free. In Sparta, stoic discipline masked a deep crisis. The loss of so many citizens and the humiliation of defeat shook the state to its core. The Spartan system, built on guaranteed victory, had failed. Epaminondas pressed the advantage, invading Spartan territory and freeing the Helots. The age of Spartan dominance was over. Epaminondas's innovations changed warfare forever. His tactics, concentrating force, refusing a flank, combining troop types, became the new standard. The old ritualized battles were obsolete. A young Macedonian prince, Philip II, learned from Thebes and transformed his own army. He created the Macedonian phalanx and perfected combined arms. His son, Alexander the Great, would use these ideas to conquer the world. The hammer and anvil tactic was a direct descendant of Leuctra's strategy. The road to Alexander's empire began on that battlefield. Leuctra marked a shift from brute force to strategic brilliance. The lesson: no system is immune to innovation. Leuctra is more than an ancient battle. It's a lesson in adaptation. Sparta's rigidity was its downfall. It could not evolve when faced with something new. Epaminondas's flexible thinking turned the tide. True strength lies in questioning assumptions and seeking better ways. In nature and in life, survival belongs to the adaptable. Thebes showed that emotional bonds and intellectual courage can triumph over tradition. Today we face our own Leuctras, challenges that demand new perspectives. Tradition should guide, not confine us. The story inspires us to innovate and focus our efforts where they matter most. In the end, survival and success belong to those willing to change.